Hello artists! Today we are opening up our color drawing studio and we are so excited. We are going to learn all about how to use and how to take care of our three most basic color supplies: crayons, colored pencils, and marker. Once we have mastered the basics, we are going to learn all about cool, unique color supplies that you are going to have a lot of fun with. But first things first. And just so you know, just because they're basic supplies doesn't mean you have to use them in a basic way. So not only are we going to learn how to care for our art supplies, we're also going to learn some pretty cool tips and tricks on how to use these basic supplies in a not so basic way. What do you say? Let's go ahead and get started. For this, we're going to review crayons, colored pencils, and markers. One of the other good art tools I have with me today is a color wheel, and we might look at this a little bit later. So let's start with crayons. To take care of our crayons, you get your own box of crayons. If crayons is something that you want to use frequently in art class, you need to have your own box because we are not allowed to share this year. So if you'd like to work with crayons, when you make yourself a box of crayons, remember to write your name and your class code on the box. When you use your crayons, you are going to use the lid as a tray to keep your crayons from rolling off the table. So any crayon that I want to use, I can put on my tray and my lid just keeps them nice and still. When you use crayons, you want to press hard to get dark color, and you want to press softly to get light color. So this is called your pressure, how hard or soft you press. You can even mix colors with crayons. So I'm going to mix some blue in with my purple. So when you experiment with your crayons today, make sure you experiment with mixing colors and with pressing soft and with pressing hard, your pressure. Let's add some orange into this yellow. So you can see you can blend colors when you use crayons. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so that's crayons. Don't forget, write your name and class code on the box, and I will have a special place for you to store it at the end of class, and it will wait for you until next week. The next art supply is colored pencils. Now, colored pencils are going to come to you and they should all be nice and sharp. If they are not ready to use, they will look like this. So if you look at this colored pencil, you see that on one side it has color, but on the other side it does not. The wood of the pencil has gone up too far and it needs to be sharpened. This pencil does not need to be sharpened. This pencil does. This is your pencil sharpener. It's going to come inside your bucket. When you use this pencil sharpener, you need to know that the lid can come off and the stuff inside can fall out. So if it's real full in there, go ahead and go to a trash can and empty it out. You also need to know that sometimes these lids don't fit. Oh goodness. But that's because this lid in the canister is like a puzzle. And if you turn it around and try it again, it will snap into place and be nice and tight. So you want to make sure that if it doesn't fit the first time, turn it around, try it again, and then it'll fit. So now let's talk about colored pencils. When you use colored pencils, a lot of my students tend to just pick one or two colors. So like if they were going to draw a tree, they would draw a brown trunk of a tree, and they would draw a green canopy. Oh, it's nice, right? One of the things I want you to know is that Mrs. Cavalier has this thing she calls the rule of 3. 1, 2, 3. That means that for every color you pick, such as green, you need to have 3 shades of green. So if you look at our color wheel, you need to have 3, and those are going to live right next to each other. Okay? So now let's look in my, oh, I already have some. I have a light green, and I have this, ooh, this one's pretty. I'm gonna use this one. And then I have this medium green. So that's 1, 2, 3. Anytime I pick green, I need 3 shades of green. So now let's start mixing some colors. I've got, ooh, wow, that's bright. I like that. So I've got a brighter green. I've got a medium green. And see how I'm coloring on top of what I've already colored? That's good. That helps the colors blend. Okay, and now I've got my third color green, that dark green. And now my tree is starting to come to life. And that is by using Mrs. Cavalier's rule of 3. So make sure that you try out that cool rule of 3 that makes your color pencil look that much better. 3 times better. Okay, so I did the green. Now it's time to do the brown. So I've got 1 shade of brown. I've got another shade of brown. And now I've got my 3rd shade of brown. I don't even have to stop there. I could do a rule of 4. And now my tree is 4 times better because I have 4 shades of brown. All right, boys and girls, give that rule of 3 a try. Remember, anytime you pick a color, find 3 colors that go really good with it, and you can use your color wheel to help you. You're gonna wanna find colors that are right next to each other, okay? So don't mix red with green, or don't mix blue with orange, because those are too far apart. You need to mix them with a neighbor, okay? All right, that is my fancy rule of 3 for colored pencils. The other thing about colored pencils is you're gonna have a box and you're gonna have a tray. It is important that when you use the colored pencils, whatever color you use, you leave on the tray. 1, because now I know which ones I need to spend extra time cleaning. And 2, because this will help you work faster. So if you're working on a big picture and you're gonna use these shades of green a lot, they're right here for you and you don't have to go dig for them. Leave them right there on your tray. All right, the very last one is markers. So markers are special sticks full of watercolor paint. Pretty cool, right? Markers can do some cool things, but we have to know how to take care of markers. When you take a lid off of a marker, it pops off, it makes a click sound. And when you put a lid back on a marker, it makes a click sound. So when you put the lid back on the marker, if it doesn't make then it's not on all the way. And if you don't make it click, the marker is gonna get sick and all of that beautiful color on the inside will disappear. So always make sure you click your lids on nice and tight. Another thing that you wanna do with your markers is always start with your lightest color. So let's say I am going to start to color in this beautiful circle with yellow. Now I want to, let's just say I wanted to outline this circle with black. Oh, that looks nice. If I had started with the black and then used the yellow would get all dirty. So we always want to start with our lightest colors. The other cool thing about markers is that you can blend with them. So if I wanted to start with some yellow, let's see what will happen. If I go over top of it with a darker color, let's try green. So as I run over my marker with another color, let's see how the colors change. All right. So with markers, you can layer them, but remember you always want to start with the darker color, okay? So I would not, if I started with the blue, I would not want to go over top of the blue with yellow. that would make my yellow really dirty. Okay, so do not put light colors on top of dark colors. Only put dark colors on top of light colors. And that way, we keep our markers clean and nice and juicy markers so that the next person can make a wonderful art piece. When you're done with them, 3 go pointing that way, 3 go pointing this way, 2 go on the top, and that way I can clean them very quickly for the next class. All right, boys and girls, let's go have some fun experimenting with color.